Halloween, that long-running tradition of celebrating All Hallows Eve, notoriously known for its masses of children setting to the streets dressed in costumes of their favorite TV characters, superheroes, Disney princesses, animals, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, pirates, ninjas, what? Well, that's too much? Well, they get the point. Okay. The basics: dress up as something or someone else, roam around knocking on doors and threatening homeowners with acts of menace if they don't fork over candy to add to the already growing collection, or, if you will, contribute to the candy harvest as we celebrate transitioning into the holiday season of winter. Where the exact origin of this candy-filled holiday is constantly up for debate, between aligning it with different religious origins or a Gaelic festival celebrating the end of harvest and the beginning of winter, what was once theorized has recently been proven true. The observation of Halloween with costumes and orange jack-o'-lantern themed plastic candy buckets originated on the forest planet of Kashyyyk. A recent discovery has uncovered irrefutable evidence that Wookiees once dressed up much like humans of Earth do today. And thanks to Hasbro, the freedom of information, this evidence has been revealed to the public today. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collects. In this episode, we are taking a closer look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Wookie Halloween Edition. Hey everyone, and welcome back. And look, here it is, our Halloween Wookie, or Wookie Halloween Edition, I guess we should say. Very fun. I'm very excited to get this. I kind of wish, they announced it before Halloween, but we weren't able to get it before Halloween, which seems odd. One would think you would have it where if it's for that holiday, it'd be prepared to be delivered. You know what? I digress. At least it has shown up. So on the back, we can take a look at our typical rendering of this creature. And I mean, it just looks fantastic. Obviously, all reuse, right? Except maybe the ears up there. But yeah, so let's just take a look at the rest of the package here. It was a dark and stormy night. Apparently the light is coming from that little guy. But you know what? Very cool, very campfire ghost story looking thing. And I like the color. It makes it look like it is a ghost on that. And then there's our rendering again with everything that comes with it. Looks like we got some more chocolate bars. I learned after the fact with the first Halloween character that I did. So very cool. I'm excited to dig into this one. So let's bust open the bottom here and check this guy out. I mean, the front is even just fun, right? So it's got that same pattern, the little Halloween kind of background. Reminds me of like the Disney Haunted Mansion, and then it just looks like it's creeping up to scare something, right? So there we go, empty box. Let's see what we've got here. So in this, oh wow, interesting. It's so interesting how like almost every single one of these I pull out, there's something different from the ones before. Like this has just this little flat lid. It's like they just keep experimenting. Here is our very heavy Halloween decorated pack, but like they keep experimenting. And then two accessory packs. I keep cutting myself off, but there we go, empty cardboard flappy box. But yeah, they keep experimenting with the insides and how to store these things. So maybe one day they'll figure out what they're doing. But again, I digress. That seems to be my key word here. Two accessory bags, two little white accessory bags, and one Halloween pouch or wrapping tissue paper in there. So these look like they are tear opens. So there we go. I like the ones where you don't have to do that, but there's a little bit of excitement in tearing it open. It's like you're taking a prize out of a cereal box. So we've got this bucket in one side, and then the other side also has something in it, and that is our stack of candy bars. Look at that. What a haul, right? Well, I guess if you got a treat bucket, but that's it that's in there. I guess if you got a treat bucket, you're ready to take a massive haul of candy. And this one is another two-sider, so we'll see if I can get it in one tear this time. Yep, there we go. And there's our little guy. So much fun. And yes, so on this other one is, drum roll, more candy bars. Would you look at that? Okay, so that is a super haul. All right, I'm very excited to dig into this, and we're going to open the guy here on his tissue paper, which I like to be a little more gentle with because that tissue paper is just cool. All right, so we'll set him to the side and let's take a look at these accessories. I'm gonna bring the lights up so I don't have to have that spooky ambiance that I tried to do for the packaging. So this way we can take a closer look at this stuff. Okay, so here we go. I mean, obviously this is those canisters that I know in like the Mandalorian, it was carrying the Beskar in its little brick forms. It's very interesting what's going on here. So the face, it has a lot of stuff going on, right? So a lot of action that it can have. So like these will flop open. The lid comes off, and you know the candy bars will go in. But it's very neat, right? So obviously just a reuse of that little plastic bin that comes with some other figures, but we've got it in cast orange plastic with a fun jack-o'-lantern face on there. And it is painted very well. It's just not very well centered on this panel, as you can see just by the nose. How it's just slightly off. I mean, at the tip there, it looks like it's right, but then it's just a little bit off. But not enough to really be upset, because I mean, when it's snapped closed, it still gives the idea, the impression of what it's intending to do. These little flaps, though, I don't know whether that is by design. I would assume it's not. I think they're supposed to fit a little bit better, but they don't. Like if you have this one flush, that kind of pops out over there, and there's a little bit of a gap. So, you know, maybe an opportunity in the construction of that. The lid goes on very snugly, and it goes on one way, right? So it's keyed, so it's got that specific spot that it's going to lay on and close. I guess you can do it two ways, because you got the keys, two or three to choose from. But anyway, it doesn't just go any old way. It does have to be on those keys. But you know what? Enough talking about that little bucket. We've got our two little stacks of candy bars here. And I mean, gosh, what a candy haul. This will be a dream come true as a kid. It looks like a bunch of Hershey bars. You know, no sponsorship from Hershey's. You know, I'm sponsored by nobody. How about that? Yay. But it just definitely looks like it. So there we go. The paint on it is fun, right? I guess the neat thing about this is whatever plastic it is cast in, and then the paint that's applied to it, it looks like maybe it's cast in the brown. I can't tell if it's paint. I think it is cast in the brown and then with silver painted. It's really tough to tell. But the cool thing about it being a little bit wavy, that is actually forgivable, because no candy bar has like that perfect line next to the other one, right? So they're always kind of a little bit wonky. So it works, right? As far as the characteristics of a stack of candy bars would probably have. So anyway, very cool. Cool to see that. And then here's our little guy wearing some jeans, some little jean shorts, it looks like. And little vampire teeth on there with the fun little just yellowed out eyes. It's fun. So cast in brown plastic, quite clearly. Not the same color brown as the candy bar brown. But it is a brown plastic, and then it's got the paint applied to it. So for the most part, the eyes are very well applied. It looks like I've got a little bit of an opportunity right there. It looks like maybe some paint got scuffed. Maybe it was a bubble. The teeth seem to be painted pretty well. It's just so much fun. And I mean, really, they're not sculpted on there to have paint applied to them, so they could kind of just get it on there and it looks fine. And it does look fine. It looks fairly centered enough, if anything, maybe off to the side just a little bit that direction. But the nose is painted on there very well. Good to see. And the little jean shorts are a nice touch. So if anybody ever wondered how this creature would wear pants, the question is answered. We're still not sure how maybe like a dog would wear pants, though. Would it be like this? Would they be, you know, who knows? A nice fluffy tail coming out of there. Kind of would be neat to see a little bit of obviously a little bit of a dry brush or something to highlight the little bushiness of the tail. But it's still neat, right? I can't complain. It's just a fun little creature. Some of the blue got down here on this nail, though, and a little bit on that one. Obviously unintentional, because the other ones don't match it, but still fun. But it is, you know, I will also say, and I've said it before, if you're doing a repaint, it's good to nail it and not have any issues. But, you know, some of these things may not be avoidable. Who knows how that got there, right? It could have been something on the line or whatever that went wrong. But let's look at the guy himself, our little Wookie holiday edition. So much fun. So I didn't have a Wookie before. So regardless of this being a lot of reuse, it's new to me. And I appreciate the color of it, right? So it's that dark gray with a little bit of light brown, kind of almost like a Bigfoot type thing going on here, right? Just by the way that it's done. And I love the big ears on it. I have no idea if this has ever been done before. If it has, please let me know, because I'm obviously very new to the Halloween editions. And I don't know how many of these have been... Oh, excuse me. Wow, apparently I can't not bump the camera. So as I was saying, I don't know how many of these have been done or if any have been done before, but it's really neat to see these ears because they truly are sculpted onto this head and not just like glued on or anything like that. It's nice to see that little extra detail. But speaking of detail, up in here, the eyes, they're painted okay. This one is looking straightforward, but do you see what this one's doing? It's kind of like a inward and up thing going. So he looks a little cross-eyed or wonky-eyed. I don't know how to refer to it, but that one's definitely looking straightforward. That one's looking inward and up. And the nose, you can see the black kind of bleeds up onto here, so there's a little bit of an issue with the paint on that. The mouth seems to be painted fairly well, but we do have that inner flesh tone right there, but then on this side there is no flesh tone to be seen. One can give it an excuse and say that, you know, maybe the fur is covering it up. And it may very well be because it's got that angle coming down there, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I wish there was at least a little line in there to show that it wasn't a mistake. Because it seems odd for that red to come and just meet the gray like that without any bit of the fleshy tone, lighter fleshy tone lips, right? So anyway, and nothing really up in the ears. So the ears are very cool that they're added, but not really any kind of coloring or anything added in there. You know, like a typical animal's ear, it's not all just that solid color. It kind of starts to fade into a flesh tone a little bit, but you know, it is still neat that they're on there. And there's not really any kind of highlights or anything like that in the fur to draw out any detail. And it is obviously sculpted with a lot of detail, which is nice. As far as the head, I'm not optimistic of any movement. As you can see, it does not really shift. So up, down, left, right, not really a thing. Side to side ever so slightly, up and down ever so slightly, but it's not intended to do that. Rotation, not really a thing. So, I mean, it's a Wookiee. It's a Wookiee figure. There's hair and fur everywhere, and there's armor here, which obviously is reuse. So, you know, we have a clip back here for an accessory that we did not get. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm definitely going to stand again and say I am not a fan of that. That's the second or third time we've seen this in these holiday lines between the Halloween and the winter holiday ones. So if you're going to have this here, give an accessory to be put on it, right? So we had the Mandalorian that had the double holsters with no handgun or firearm or anything like that to go in them. So we've got that again. So got to kind of fault Hasbro for that one, right? So you're doing reuse. You don't really have to do a whole lot. You're not retooling much. I mean, on this, yeah, maybe the head. How much does it cost to have like a little staff or something that would clip to that? You know, just that little bit extra. Anyway, as far as the arms, you know, this armor that's on here doesn't really leave much room for raising. It does have pretty good movement. Obviously, we don't really have the ability of doing like a 360 rotation. We do not have bicep tricep rotation. We do have slight elbow movement, but you know, the fur kind of gets in the way, so you don't really have much of a bend capability on that. And when you do, it starts to white the plastic if you bend it too far. See how it's kind of got a little bit of white going on there. No, well, you know what? The elbow rotates, not the forearm, so it does give a little bit of rotation there. And then, of course, we have a little bit in the wrist. The wrist looks like it will go all the way around, and it will bend inward, so like a slight supination, however you want to pronounce it, but then outward, not really, because again, we've got fur in the way. The other arm, dealing with that same thing, right? We do have mid-torso movement, which is nice. It does have that full kind of range of movement, so that's pretty good, and it's not really too restricted by this, which I kind of thought it would be. This mid-torso so far is the best movement that I've seen in this figure, right? Where it's not really much of a compromise. This rotates with it. He does have the ability to kind of bend a good bit, so that's nice. Not really anything in the waist, but we do have upper thigh. So we do have that upper thigh line, which is masked fairly well by the fur in the most part. We have a single knee that has a little bit of bend to it. But again, you know, the fur kind of gets in the way, and there's some spots where it does white the plastic out by stressing it. Forward kick, it's okay, not bad. Backward kick, pretty good. Better than some that I've seen that weren't hair-covered giant Wookiee creatures. And then, of course, the foot, a little bit of forward and backward on that one. But again, we've got the fur thing. And the fur protects from breaking that ankle. Even though it's got a nice ball in there, it's just asking for a broken ankle. But those Wookiees, man, they've got sturdy joints, right? You're not going to get hurt very easily. Okay, so let's look at the paint apps, or the lack thereof, right? So really, the paint that we see here, the face, which the eye and the nose, definite opportunities there. There was a personal preference with the mouth. That eye is definitely off, and the nose was definitely kind of bleeding over a little bit. The hands, they do have paint applied on them, but it seems to be very clean. No real issue there. I do kind of see that it's ever so slight, but it looks like the grays kind of changed. So here is a softer plastic. I can't tell if this is the same. Yeah, they're about the same, but the shade, can you see that? The shade, these two are almost identical, but this one's a little bit darker. See that? I hope that comes through on the camera. But yeah, anyway, there's a little bit of a color transition issue there. And you can kind of see the difference in the grays right there a lot better. And then this was definitely a massively missed opportunity for some detail, right? So maybe some paint on the spikes to make it pop, or the detail right here, this ornamentation that's in this, or even just the little snaps on that. All right, so there's not any on these pouches. The pouches are fine being brown, but how about these snaps? How about right there to make this stuff just pop a little bit more? There's a couple more snaps back here. I get not doing the back, that's fine, I can forgive that, but maybe something up here would have been nice, or even at least the spikes. I mean, come on, it's Halloween. You gotta highlight spikes. Come on. But anyway, there we go. There's our guy. Stands very easily on its own, obviously, because the joints don't really move around a lot to cause too many issues. But that's been it. That is our Wookie Halloween edition, and I'm gonna be right back with some 360 views. There he is, our Wookie Halloween edition. Cool figure. Not as cool personally as the other Halloween one, the Clone Trooper or Stormtrooper that was painted with the skeleton on the front. I think that was just a lot more fun of a repaint. This one is a repaint. I like the ears and I appreciate some of the details. I like the jack-o'-lantern bucket, but it would have been neat to see maybe some paint make those spikes pop out, or a weapon to go on that clip there on the back. I gotta fault Hasbro for not taking that little bit extra. That's not even going the extra mile. That's actually just kind of cutting a corner right there by not giving something that works when you have a space for a weapon or an item. So a little bit of a fault on that, especially charging the normal price when we're dealing with mostly with just a repaint and maybe a little bit of recasting. But I'm going to let you make the call. I don't regret getting it because I love Halloween, but I can't say, yeah, definitely run out and get this one. It's certainly neat. Don't get me wrong, but you make the call. Hey everyone, a big special thank you goes out to everyone who participated in the Arrive Serpentor Arrive giveaway that we have been running for the past month. I am happy to say that the entry period has ended. All entries have been collected, including the early commenters that got the keyword. You know who you are. The winner of the Arrive Serpentor Arrive giveaway is now posted on your screen. We will be reaching out for the best way to send out this awesome, unopened, factory fresh G.I. Joe Classified Series Serpentor with Air Chariot. Now, if you were not the winner, don't fret. We were only getting started and already have more great giveaways planned. Thank you again so much to everyone who participated and who supports the channel. I cannot tell you how much your support means to me, and I can't wait for more chances to give back to you. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to join us. If we ever do a review of something you are trying to find for yourself, please follow and DM us on Instagram at JKCollectsToys so we can help with the search if we do not already have a way of getting one. Also, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know. And let YouTube know by subscribing and clicking that like button. The more that happens, the more YouTube recommends us, so we can hopefully reach even more collectors and help them find the things that they need. If you'd like to see some more videos, we have some links on your screen right now for you to check out. And remember, collecting or not, we are all in this world together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.